Hey there. Welcome to part 7 of the Entrepreneurship Glossary series. And this time we're going to discuss marketing and brand. Okay, one of the biggest differences between startups that, struggle and startups that scale. Not just building a product, but making people want it, trust it, and choose it. Because the reality is simple. The best product does not always win. The best understood product wins. So in this session, we will cover 18 essential concepts like the previous 6 sessions. Uh, Now, these 18 essential concepts together build your entire marketing system. We start with the foundation, right? Brand, right, and identity, positioning. We move to communication, tagline, content marketing, SEO, performance marketing. We'll talk about some growth systems, for example, organic versus paid, social proof, influencer marketing, and PR. Then authority and scale. We'll talk about thought leadership, community, and GTM strategy. And finally, of course, there's something called copywriting, hook, storytelling, and CTA. So by the end, you won't just understand marketing, you will understand how attention turns into trust and trust turns into revenue. So let's begin with one of the most used and most misunderstood words in business. That's called the brand. So, brand is the sum total of perceptions, emotions, associations, and expectations that people have about your company. So, brand is not logo, right? Built through every interaction over time. Notice something important here. Brand is not something you create once, it is something that gets built every single day through every touch point, through your website, through your product, through your customer support, through your content, your pricing, everything contributes to your brand. So, in plain English, let's simplify this completely. Your brand is what people say about you, and when you're not in the room, okay, not what you say about yourself, okay, what they feel and what they believe. Of course, I mentioned it's not your logo, it's not your colors, it's the feelings your name creates, right? Many founders think, let's design a logo, choose colors, create a website, and our brand is ready. That's not brand. That's just branding. So, branding is the outer layer, brand is the inner perception. Let's break this down into components. First, visual identity. This includes your logo, colors, fonts. So, within brand, you're creating logo. This is what people see. Second, your voice and tone, how you communicate. Are you formal? Are you friendly? Are you bold? Are you premium? Third, values, what you stand for, and equally important, what you do not stand for. Fourth, promise, what experience you guarantee to every customer. Fifth, reputation, what people actually say about you after using your product. And finally, uh, emotion, the feeling your name creates even before someone tries your product. A strong brand does five powerful things. It reduces your customer acquisition cost, it increases lifetime value, it allows you to change premium pricing, it, in fact, charge, not change, it attracts better talent, and most importantly, it builds trust before experience. People don't buy products first, they buy trust first, and brand is what creates that trust. Think about this. If two products are identical and one from a known brand, one from an unknown brand, right? Which one would you choose? Take the case of a water bottle. One has Bisleri written on it, one is simply the same identical water bottle, right? Most people choose the known brand. That's the power of perception. So, obviously, in case of water bottles, you'll choose Bisleri, right? So, a logo is seen, a brand is felt. So you're not just building a product, you're building how people remember you, and that is your brand. Now that we understand what a brand really is, let's move to the visual layer, the brand identity. Brand identity is the collection of visual and verbal elements that express your brand outwardly. This includes your logo, your color palette, your typography, your imagery style, and your voice and tone. In simple terms, brand identity is how your brand shows up in the world. Think of your brand like a person. Brand is their personality. Brand identity is how they dress, how they speak, how they walk into a room. Before they say anything, you already form an impression. That impression is identity. People don't read everything. They scan, they feel, they judge quickly. Your identity signals who you are for, and whether you can be trusted. Let's break this down. Logo, your visual symbol. Colors, they create emotion. For example, blue is equal to trust, green is equal to natural. Typography, modern, playful, premium, serious. Imagery style, real, polished, minimal, bold, voice and tone. How you communicate, friendly, authoritative, conversational. When all of these are consistent, your brand becomes recognizable instantly. Take Mama Earth. Their identity uses earthy greens, clean whites, leaf based visuals, warm, simple language. Even before reading anything, you already feel natural, safe, organic. That is identity without identity working correctly. Take the example of Zerodha. Deep blue colors, minimal design, data focused interface. It signals serious, professional, no nonsense. Good identity does not just look good, it communicates meaning without words. Identity is what people see before they experience your brand. Now let's move to something small but extremely powerful. That's called the tagline. A tagline is a short, memorable phrase that captures your brand's promise, personality, or value. It is repeated consistently to build recall over time. A tagline is the one sentence people remember when they forget everything else. It's not a description, it's a feeling compressed into a few words. Many founders write taglines like, "We provide high quality solutions using advanced technology." That is not a tagline. That could be like, boring description. A strong tagline is short, ideally under 7 words, memorable, distinctive, emotionally meaningful, and uniquely yours. Let's look at some of the powerful Indian examples. Amul, the taste of India. It's not about butter, it's about identity. Zomato hai to sahi hai. Okay, it creates comfort and trust. Fevicol, जोड़ है टूटेगा नहीं, right? So it expresses strength emotionally. So notice something important. None of these describe features, all of them create feeling. So a tagline is not what you do, it's what people remember. So in a noisy world, people don't remember details, they remember simple, strong emotional signals. And that is what a great tagline creates. Let's start with one of the most important and most strategic, concepts in marketing called positioning. The positioning is the process of defining how your product is uniquely different from competitors in the mind of your target customer. It's not about what you build, it's about how you're perceived. So, positioning answers one simple question. In a crowded market, why should someone choose you? If your answer is vague, the customer will not choose you. But if your answer is clear, you become obvious. Customers don't analyze deeply, they simplify, they categorize, they choose the clearest option. A simple way to define positioning is for a specific customer uh, who has a specific need, understand these terms, right? For a specific customer who has a specific need, your product is a specific category, then, right, that delivers a specific benefit, unlike alternatives. Treat this as a template, right? So wherever you have this specific category, specific benefit, specific customer segment, please replace all these things with your keywords, actual keywords. Okay. We'll take an example of Zerodha, and we'll define this entire thing for the customer. Now, who's the customer? Serious Indian traders who want to keep more of their profits. Zerodha is a discount broker that charges a flat, uh, rupee, let's say 20 fee, unlike traditional brokers who charge percentages. Now, notice something. This is not generic. It is sharp, it is specific, it's easy to understand, right? If you try to be for everyone, you end up being chosen by no one. So, clarity beats creativity in positioning. Now, let's move to one of the most powerful long-term growth engines called content marketing. Now, content marketing is the strategy of creating valuable, relevant, and consistent content to attract and retain an audience instead of interrupting them with advertisements or ads. So instead of chasing customers, you create value. So customers come to you. You teach them, you inform them, you help them. And when they trust you, they buy from you. People don't like being sold to, but they love learning. They love solving problems. They love discovering insights. Content allows you to do that at scale. One strong piece of content can reach thousands of people, generate leads, and continue working for you for months or even years. AI-Praxis, for example, uses YouTube content as a primary acquisition channel. Instead of ads, they educate and attract high quality learners that is efficient, scalable, and sustainable, right? Paid marketing stops when you stop spending. Content continues even when you stop creating. Content is the only marketing that compounds over time. So you don't need more ads, you need more value, because when you create value, attention follows. And when attention trusts you, revenue follows. Let's start with something that brings you customers even when you're not actively selling. That's called the SEO, search engine optimization. It's a process of optimizing your content so that your website appears at the top of search results when people search for relevant terms. SEO is simple. People are already searching for a solution, and you make sure they find you first. This is powerful because the intent already exists. You're not convincing them to, want something. They already want it. So there's a big difference between interrupting, someone with an ad and being discovered when they're actively searching. The second is always stronger. So SEO is organic. You earn your ranking over time. It takes efforts, consistency, and patience. But once you rank, traffic keeps coming without paying per click. Think about Naukri.com. When someone in India searches for a job, Naukri appears maybe at the top, not because of ads, but because of years of SEO content and maybe authority. So SEO is slow to build, but extremely powerful once built. The best lead is someone who searched for you. Now let's move to the opposite side, which is called performance marketing. Now, performance marketing is paid digital advertising where you pay for measurable results, not just views, but actual outcomes like clicks, leads, app installs, or purchases. Performance marketing is simple. You spend money and track exactly what comes back. Every rupee must be justified. Unlike traditional marketing, this is completely measurable. You know how much you spend, what you got, and whether it worked. If you spend rupees 100 and earn 300, you scale. If you spend rupees 100 and earn 50, you stop. Early stage founders should use performance marketing to test ideas quickly, run small experiments, 2000 rupees to 5000 rupees, and see what works. Then scale only what proves results. There are some common channels that include Google ads, Meta ads, YouTube ads, Instagram ads, right? Performance marketing gives speed, SEO gives sustainability. You need both of them. If you can measure it, you can scale it. So don't guess your growth. Test it, measure it, and then scale it. Let's start with a fundamental distinction every founder must understand: organic versus paid marketing. Now, organic marketing means reaching your audience without directly paying for distribution. This includes SEO, content, social media, posts, word of mouth, and community. Paid marketing means paying to reach your audience. This includes ads, sponsored posts, influencer payments. Organic means you earn attention. Paid means you buy attention. Organic takes time but compounds. Paid gives results instantly but stops the moment you stop paying. Think of this like water. Paid is a tap. You turn it on, water flows. You turn it off, water stops. Organic is a well. It takes time to build, but once built, water keeps coming without daily cost. So most startups need both. Use paid to get initial customers quickly. Use organic to reduce dependency on paid over time. The ultimate goal is organic should eventually, carry your growth. Paid gives speed, organic gives strength. Now let's talk about one of the fastest channels that's called influencer marketing. Influencer marketing is when a brand partners with individuals who have built an audience and uses their reach and credibility to promote a product. Influencer marketing is simple. You borrow trust, the audience trusts the creator, and you leverage that trust to introduce your product. Now, India has massive creator ecosystems: finance, fitness, parenting, tech. Each category has trusted voices, and people trust people more than brands. Okay, there are types of influencers like nano, small audience, high trust; micro, strong niche influence; macro, large reach; mega, celebrity levels; scale. Bigger is not always better. A niche creator with 50,000 followers often converts better than a celebrity with millions. Both scaled massively by gifting products to thousands of small creators. No expensive celebrity deals, just consistent visibility across many authentic voices. Influencer marketing works better when it feels real, not forced. People don't trust ads, they trust people. You don't always need a bigger budget. You need better distribution, and sometimes that distribution always exists in someone else's audience. Let's start with something that directly impacts whether people trust you or not. That's called social proof. Social proof is evidence that other people, which means customers, experts, or media, have used and trusted your product. It reduces the perceived risk of trying something new. People copy what people like them to do. If others trust you, new users feel safer trusting you too. When someone discovers your product, they're unsure, they're asking, will this work for me? Social proof answers that question without you saying anything. Testimonials are like real user feedback, there are reviews, ratings, and comments, then uh, case studies, success stories, user numbers, 10,000 plus users, press, let's say, mentions, media credibility, influencers or experts, authority. So Mama Earth grew early through real, mothers sharing product experiences, no big ads, just authentic reviews that other mothers trusted. Social proof is not about claiming trust, it's about showing proof of trust. So don't tell people you're good, show them others believe it. Now let's move to something that decides how your product enters the market, and that's called GTM strategy. GTM strategy is your complete plan for launching a product and getting your first customers. GTM stands for go to market. It defines who you are targeting, how you will reach them, what you will say, and how you will convert them, right? It answers one simple question: how will this product actually reach customers and start generating revenue? Many founders think, let's build the product first, marketing later. But that's actually a mistake. GTM should be planned before the product is launched. Target customer, who exactly are you serving? Then positioning, why should they choose you? In fact, pricing, how much you charge, channel, where you reach them, messaging, what you say, launch plan, how you introduce it, metrics, how you measure success. Let's take some examples. Zepto's GTM was very focused. Target urban professionals, channel, Instagram and word of mouth, offer 10-minute delivery, strategy, launch city by city, not everywhere at once. Great products fail without a clear GTM. Average products succeed with strong GTM execution even. Product builds value, GTM delivers value. So don't just ask, what are we building? Also ask, how will people discover and choose us? So let's start with something that builds trust faster than ads ever can. And those are called PR, public relations. PR is the practice of managing how your company is perceived by the public through media, journalists, interviews, and public appearances. The key idea is PR earns attention, it does not buy it. PR is when someone talks about you instead of you talking about yourself, and that makes it more credible. If you say, we are the best, and people doubt it, right? Simple. But if a respected, let's say, publication says this company is changing the industry, people believe it. Ads are paid. You control the message, but people know you paid for it. PR is earned. You don't control everything, but people trust it more. Zerodha is a powerful example. They didn't really rely on ads, but the founder, Nitin Kamath, Nikhil Kamath, both of them, consistently, appeared in Economic Times, Forbes India, podcasts. They have their, YouTube channel, right. That visibility built massive trust. PR builds credibility at scale without paying for every impression. Ads make you visible, PR makes you believable. Now let's move to something even more powerful called thought leadership. Thought leadership is a strategy where a founder or brand shares insights, ideas, and perspectives to become a trusted authority in a specific category. Thought leadership means when people have a question about your industry, they think of you first, not because you advertised, but because you taught them something valuable. People follow knowledge, people trust expertise, and people remember those who help them think better. Writing on LinkedIn, creating YouTube, speaking at events, appearing on podcasts, sharing original ideas consistently. All these are how PR is actually built. Let's take some examples. Okay. Nitin Kamath shares insights on markets and businesses. Kunal Shah shares deep frameworks on startups. Over time, they themselves become distribution channels for their companies. The strongest brands don't just advertise, they educate and lead thinking. Authority is not bought, it is built over time. So don't just sell your product, teach your market, because when people trust you thinking, they trust your product. Now, let's start with something that most startups ignore, but the best startups master. That's called community. A community is a group of people, customers, users, or fans, who connect with each other and with the brand around a shared identity, interest, or goal. A community is not an audience. An audience watches you. A community interacts with each other. That is the difference. When people feel like they belong, they don't just buy your product, They defend your brand, recommend you to others, create content for you, and stay longer. Audience follows you, community follows each other, and that creates powerful network effects. Zerodha's trading communities. Users help each other, learn. Let's talk about cred, created identity. I paid my credit card on time. Both strong user generated, content culture. These are not just users. They are participants. So community reduces your marketing cost because your users become your marketers. Customers buy, communities grow you. Now let's move to something that directly impacts revenue. That's called copywriting. Copywriting is the art of writing text for ads, websites, emails, landing pages, specifically designed to persuade someone to take action. Copywriting is salesmanship, in writing. Every word you write either pulls the user closer or pushes them away. You can have a great product, a great website, great traffic, but if your words are weak, people will not convert. There's a framework called AIDA, AIDA, right? A stands for attention, which means that grabs interest. Then the I stands for interest, that makes them curious. D stands for desire, that makes them, want it. And A stands for action, that tells them what to do. Let's take an example. A bad copy example. Our AI-powered solution optimizes workflows. Let's take the other example. Stop wasting 3 hours every day on manual work. This is a good copy, right? So notice the difference. One is about product and the other is about the user's problem. Okay. So what makes great copy? It speaks the customer's language. It addresses real pain or desire. It makes one clear promise. It leads to one clear action. Good copy earns money. Bad copy burns budget. So you don't need more features. You need better words because the right words can turn attention into action. Let's start with the most important moment, right, in any piece of content, and that's called hook. So a hook is the opening line. It could be an image or an idea that captures attention instantly and makes someone continue watching, reading, or engaging. The hook answers one question: why should I care right now? If you don't answer this in the first few seconds, people will leave. And they leave, in fact. Today, attention spans are extremely short. You have 3 seconds on video, one line in an email, less than a second on social media. If your hook fails, everything else becomes irrelevant. Okay, there are types of hooks. First is the question: why do most startups fail? There could be a provocative statement: most founders are doing this completely wrong. Then specific result: I built a 10 lakh business, 10 lakh rupees business from my hostel room. Story opening: last year I almost shut down my startup. Contrarian take: hard work is not the reason startups succeed. Right? So these are the 5 ways. So the purpose of the book, of the hook, is not to explain everything. It's to create curiosity enough to make someone stay. If the hook fails, nothing else matters. Now we shall move to the most powerful form of communication that's called storytelling. Now, storytelling is the practice of communicating your product, your brand, your message through a narrative structure using characters, conflict, and resolution. Facts actually inform, stories move people. People don't remember features, they remember stories and emotions. If you explain your product logically, people may understand it. But if you tell a story, they feel it. And feeling drives action. So, character is your customer, problem, what they struggle with, guide, your product or brand, plan is what you offer. Success is the transformation. Let's take the example of Paperboat. Didn't sell juice, they sold nostalgia stories. Amul, storytelling through cultural moments. Dove, storytelling around real beauty. Notice something, the focus is not the product, the focus is the emotion. So, the best marketing is not about what your product does, it's about what your product changes in someone's life. People don't buy products, they buy stories they believe in. So, don't just explain your product, tell the story your customer wants to be part of. Then comes the CTA. CTA stands for call to action. It is a clear instruction that tells your audience exactly what to do next. This could be click a button, sign up, download something, book a call, make a purchase, could be anything. Every piece of content ends with one silent question. Now, what should I do? The CTA is your answer. Without it, people watch, understand, even feel inspired, and they do nothing. So, you may have a great product, strong content, high traffic, but if you don't guide the user, you lose the conversion. And that's why at the end of this video, always I say do like, subscribe, and comment, because it will always help. And like every other YouTuber, right, will always do. Okay, so there is a call to action specifically. And that means wasted effort without money, and wasted money and then opportunity and everything else. Now, marketing is not complete until any action happens. An action only happens when you clearly ask for it. Weak CTA sounds like learn more, click here, submit. These are vague, emotionless, and easy to ignore. Strong CTA sound like get the free guide, start your 14-day trial, book your free call today. These are specific, benefit driven, and action oriented. A strong CTA answers three things: what will I get? What should I do? Why should I do it now? So even small changes in CTA can dramatically improve results. Changing one line, one increase conversations significantly. A weak CTA wastes attention. A strong CTA converts it. So never assume the user knows what to do next. Always guide them clearly. Don't just create content, create direction, because attention is valuable, but action is what builds businesses. Let's step back for a moment and bring everything together. What you just heard, and I'm sure you learned, is not a list of marketing terms. It is a complete uh, system for building demand, trust, and growth. Okay. We started with brand, what people feel about you when you're not in the room. Then brand identity, like how people feeling is, expressed visually and through communication. And then we talked about positioning your unique space in the customer's mind. Then we move to how people find you, right? That attention part. So content, marketing, SEO, performance marketing. Then we understood organic versus paid, earning attention versus buying attention. Then influencer marketing, borrowing trust from existing audiences. Then came the social proof, showing that others already trust you. And we talked about PR, letting others talk about you instead of you talking about yourself. Okay. Then thought leadership, becoming the voice people trust in your category and community, turning customers into advocates and participants. Then we moved into execution, GTM strategy, copywriting, how you persuade users. Then hook, how you capture attention instantly, storytelling, and finally CTA, the moment where everything turns into action. So when you look at all this, together, this is the journey: attention to trust to action. So marketing is not about noise, it's about clarity. It's not about pushing your product, it's about helping people understand why it matters, right? People don't buy what you build, they buy what you understand, what they understand, and what they trust. If you get marketing right, you don't chase customers. Customers come to you. And that is when your startup truly starts to scale. And with that, part 7 is complete. You have just gone through 18 essential concepts that define how marketing actually works. From building a strong brand to creating clarity through positioning, from attracting attention through content to building trust through social proof, and finally converting that attention into action. But here is the one idea I want you to take away from all this: the best product does not win, the best understood product wins. Because if people don't understand you, they will ignore you. If they don't trust you, they will not buy from you. So don't just focus on building better features, focus on communicating clearly, building trust consistently, and creating value before asking for anything. Because when you get that right, marketing stops feeling like effort and starts working like a system. And in the next part, we move to something equally powerful that's called strategy and scaling. Okay, where we will understand how great companies defend their position and grow sustainably over time. Until then, keep building, keep learning, keep growing. Thank you so much for watching. Do like and subscribe. Take care.